this week we've got Jay Devilliers. What people are now calling him. All right, redo.
Jay, this is what happens. He tries a few times, and then I have to jump on and actually do it for real.
I know. You're
Dude, why not? Do you want to try you doing the intro this week?
Do you want me to? Okay.
Rip
and
it.
We're going. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to everyone's favorite pickleball. One more time. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to everyone's favorite pickleball. One more time. Okay.
Greg, I want you to clip this.
Here we go. No, let me try, Jay. One more time. Well, do you want to do it, Jay?
No.
Okay, here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to PicklePod, everybody's favorite pickleball podcast. We are the voices of pickleball. I'm here with my co-host, Thomas Shields, and an even greater get than Thomas is our dear friend and one of the top-ranked professional pickleball players in the world, Jay Devilliers. Jay, what's up, dude?
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
We're good. Should we even talk to Thomas at all or just kind of leave him out of this one?
I don't know. Yeah. We'll figure it out. You and I have a good relationship.
We do.
Thomas barely talked lately, so I don't know.
Yeah,
you've been a little upset with me lately. You're accusing me of favoring certain players over you on my social media, in particular TikTok.
And are you?
I'm a big fan, though. That's why I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on.
It hurts when you love something so much and they don't love you back, right, Jay?
That's right.
Well, we'll get there. And this podcast, this episode, hopefully will bring us closer to that point that you've always wanted between us.
Yes.
First question, though, to start off.
Because, you're going to just jump right into it here.
No. Well, because you kind of started off saying his name. I guess I knew you were going to, but we need to get some clarification on the pronunciation of Devilliers.
I can do it.
Or Devilliers.
No, I can do it. Jocelyn Devilliers.
Oh, that's very good. I'm not kidding. That was pretty accurate here.
So what is it?
I lived in Switzerland for a while.
Another point for Tyson.
I speak amateur French. I lived in Switzerland for 2 years and Belgium for a year as a pro cyclist. So I had to get around in French. It's not perfect. I definitely learned it from professional cyclists. So I know like all the swear words. I know how to yell at people. I know how to push people out of the way on a bike. That's the type of French I know.
Got it. I lived in Luxembourg for 3 months and I know zero French. So
Luxembourg doesn't speak French. That's probably...
They speak everything, dude. They speak German, French.
Don't they have their same language? Don't they have their own language,
The reason I didn't have to learn French is because they mostly spoke pretty solid English.
So. Okay. Well, Jay's here doing an interview in English. So thank you, Jay, for, learning the entire language for us.
I will try. I'm still, it's a work process still.
Yeah.
Jocelyn. Did I say that right?
Jocelyn.
No, Jocelyn.
That wasn't right. There's no way that was right.
Mine was right.
Yeah, his was right.
All right, Jay, can you say it, though? Let's just hear you say it.
Jocelyn Devilliers.
Okay.
I nailed it, honestly.
I'm going to stick with Jay Devilliers.
That's better.
Good?
That's better than what they are saying when they announce it over loudspeakers at the tournaments.
Yeah.
Well, they say Devilliers.
Yeah, because they're using like a Spanish double L instead of the French double L. You pronounce the L in France, but if it was a Spanish name, the L makes like a Y sound, the double L's, right?
Yeah.
You're just trying to sound smarter than us all episode?
No, I mean, I think I just am, but
nice. Well, okay. On the topic of names, though, I also want to bring up the most common nickname you likely hear, which is the Flying Frenchman. And I'd like to say that I'm not a fan of it. And I think we can do better. But first, and I have a couple suggestions for you. First, do you have any other nicknames that are common for you, or any that you like in particular?
Not really. I mean, it's funny because I don't even know how the Flying Frenchman started.
It's
I
amazing.
think I think I could put two and two together and figure it out.
Right, but like I don't even know who started it and everything.
There wasn't a time where it just clicked.
Yeah, no, I thought people were gonna call me Frenchie. So I mean, I don't know. Jay was the simplest way. It started with Jay when I was in college, and then he just kept there, and yeah.
So you consider Jay a nickname then? Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Is the Flying Frenchman, did you have that in college when you were playing tennis and stuff, or did that originate in pickleball?
Yeah, in pickleball. No.
Okay.
In tennis, I was fairly slow. I didn't move very well, so.
Not flying.
Well, you have such you're so big that on the pickleball court you can basically just like take one step and you're on the whole other side. So you can walk into an Ernie. You're the only player who can walk into an Ernie.
Do you think physiques, if we're going down this route, physiques in tennis and pickleball differ? And is there an advantage to one and not to the other? Because you said you're not very fast on a tennis court. Is your size more advantageous in pickleball?
It's just I feel like tennis is different because, when you're playing on a tennis court, the court is so much bigger. You have to read the game. It's more physical in terms of long running, but it's not as explosive as pickleball. So I felt like I felt on a tennis court, I was not as explosive as I am on a pickleball court. I actually think playing pickleball helped my tennis game on that aspect. But yeah, it's just different preparation. Already in tennis, you work on intervals. And I think pickleball, it's intervals, but even quicker, like very explosive stuff. So yeah, definitely different.
Got it.
I have a pretty in-depth question for you, Jay. Oh,
no, Tyson, we can't go to another question yet. We have to suggest the new
nicknames.
Oh, okay.
I have to say, Frenchie is the worst. You don't want to be called Frenchie, right?
Well, don't call me ball hog, Thomas.
Ball hog? Who was going to call you that? Do people call you that?
All the people in the comments.
All the people on the TikToks.
Yeah. No, I got into I started fighting with people too, being like, well, you have to understand they're going to target the weaker player. Often that ends up in mixed at the highest level being the female. It's not always the case. People were naturally offended. I realized I had gone down an unwinnable path.
Yes.
And I quickly
retreated. Put your tail between your legs and cowered.
Well,
exactly.
No, but the truth is, a lot of time people don't understand when they watch a highlight. I'm actually taking a lot of balls on the highlight. But if you look at the entire match, usually Jesse works harder than I am doing. It's just on the highlight, I'm stepping and taking balls, and we are like, oh, this guy is so sexist. He's not letting her play. I'm like, oh, that's a bit brutal here. But I'm like, she's working so hard all day. I'm trying to help her once in a while. But
is that partly what it is when you're stepping across the court, is to alleviate and give her a little bit of a break?
Yeah, release some pressure on her and put some pressure on the opponents as well,
Yeah.
But again, when I take so much court, I'm also opening the court on my side. So it's such a tricky game, but you don't want to do all the time. But when you watch a highlight, you're like, oh man, the guy is playing singles. He's doing this all the time. But if you look the entire match, it's actually Jesse working harder than I am. I'm just on the comfort waiting for the ball to come to me.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair to everyone listening, when Jay and I are on the same team, he comes over onto my side of the court even more than he does Jesse's. So it's not necessarily a gender issue here.
Yeah, no,
well,
but
that was kind of my point. It's it's a weaker player, or
often you're just assuming I'm the weaker player of the two.
You are, Tyson. I hate to break it to you.
Okay, well, I've been taken down a notch. That's I don't have many more notches to go, Thomas. So be
All right.
careful with your words
If you
here.
look at the highlight of Tyson, it's me against Jesse Dink in cross court, where Tyson is not getting the ball at all. So I guess I was targeted at
They
that
were
time.
avoiding me, yeah.
The weaker player at that moment.
But Tyson was dressed in a really cool outfit, so he
Yeah.
gets points for that.
Look, I'm wearing a do
No,
you
that's
recognize this, Jay?
Hasn't washed it.
Babar. It's Babar.
Babar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a French cartoon, isn't it?
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. This
Oh,
is a cool little Fila jacket. I didn't bring the jacket with me, Thomas. This is this is clean. And I washed the pants so I can wear them because those pants are so fire, dude.
All right. I've got the first nickname I want to recommend or suggest, and we'll get your feedback on.
Okay.
The French fry, because you fry your opponents. The French fry.
Pass.
Pass.
I've got one, and this isn't necessarily.
Nope. Next one.
Oh.
Axe murderer.
Oh, I like that better.
The paddle being the axe. Okay.
And the last one for me, the Carnivorous Croissant.
A croissant. I'll pass too.
Yeah, that's probably insulting, right, Jay?
0 for 3. All right, Tyson, what do you got?
Well, this is only when Jay body bags somebody, meaning he hits the ball into their body, and for the rally win, they just got French kissed.
But that's not a nickname. That's like his signature move.
Yeah, the French kiss.
Yeah.
I don't have a nickname. The thing is that nicknames have to materialize organically based on a certain situation someone has witnessed. If someone saw him flying over the corner of the kitchen and came up with the term Flying Frenchman, that materialized naturally, and it is what it is now. So we have to come up with a nickname that is associated with Jay based on his actions. And so
you're saying axe murderer is not a fit. We're going to go no on axe murderer for that reason.
I think Flying Frenchman is the best of the four right now, but only because it materialized naturally and it is already associated with him. Jay, I guess you have some input in the matter, but not really, because it's the audience who ends up determining what they call you, right?
As long as they remember me, whatever it takes.
Well, okay. Well, right now, as far as the viewers go,
Tyson Apostle,
Well, in some of those comments, they I think they called you pig because you were stepping in front of the woman.
No. I mean, I see it a lot of times. It's funny to read those comments. I mean, I know some players get very upset or they took it very personally. I don't. I feel like it's hilarious. And I joke about it. My wife always look at it too, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's sure." Like she likes to emphasize a bit more on it. So
yeah,
great.
every time I post one of the Newmans, if Riley steps in front of Lindsay, and the commenters go after him, Lindsay will get in there. She'll get into the comments and she'll start like firing back, which I love. Big fan of that.
Yeah. Because I mean, me fighting back, I don't think it's a good idea.
No.
Riley fighting back is not a good idea. But Lindsay, at least, it makes sense. So
yeah, I've learned. I mean, I've been in the public eye for over a decade. You cannot fight your fights on the internet because you won't win, and it's not worth it. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. You usually end up looking worse than if you just ignored it. And the best thing you can do is let other people who understand what's happening fight for you. So,
lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned. Thomas, you should not have gotten involved there.
I think it's going to get even worse. It's going to get even worse when we'll have betting.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, it definitely will. Along those lines, Jay, I have a question that I went to the PPA. We actually commentated on the gold medal match for mixed doubles, which you were in, and eventually won, which was incredible. You came back from it was a best of 5. You came back down 2 to win 3 in a row for the gold medal. So congratulations on that. But my question here is that with betting, with the rise in the sport, with everything going the trajectory that it's going, I come from a cycling background, and I watched as Lance Armstrong was one of the first riders to only target the Tour de France. His only objective of the season was the Tour de France. Are we going to see some type of more specific specialization in the sport of pickleball? Right now, you're playing singles, you're playing mixed doubles, and you're playing men's doubles. But especially on a final Sunday where you're playing multiple matches, in the eyes of a sponsor, I would assume a single gold medal is better than 3 silver medals.
I think so too.
Are we going to see these people specialize completely on one? And also, there's another term in cycling called marginal gains, where an even 0.5% gain in your performance is an advantage over your opponent. So I'm seeing, from my perspective and from my professional background as an athlete, my prediction as the sport gains in professionalism is that the doubles partners are going to have to live next to each other and train with each other most of the year. You're not going to be able to live cross country because the more you get to know each other, the better you probably play with each other. Even if it's a 1% gain overall, that's still a gain. On top of that, singles and doubles are a much different game. Do you have time, or would it be more advantageous to just focus on one? And then even gendered doubles versus mixed doubles is also a different game. So how specialized are we going to see players focus?
Well, this is a great question. I feel like some players are already doing that for singles. I mean, I can name some, like Frank Anthony Davis is really focused on singles more than doubles and mixed. I don't think there is anything wrong with that. The reason why it's not happening a lot yet, I just think the money is just not there. If you were guaranteed to make enough money on one event, maybe you want to focus just on that event. Right now, if you want to make good money, you got to play the free event and hopefully place on the free event. So I think you're right. Down the road, it's going to happen where people are going to specialize either doubles or mixed or singles, but it's more on a financial point. I see it like myself, Ben, Tyson, Zane. We play the free event all the time, and when singles is the last one, it's tough. It's very tough, especially if we did well in doubles and mixed, because we went far. So we used a lot of energy, and then we're playing against fresh players on Sunday, and that's not easy. So I think in the future we'll have to choose whether we want to play all of them or want to just play one. But again, it has to make sense, and I don't think right now it does. But that's the reason why people are playing a lot of events.
So let's pinpoint Tyson here, because he played 2 events on Sunday.
Yeah.
Was second in both of them.
Yeah.
You have to assume that the second event he played there, the first event took a toll on him physically and may have, maybe cost him victory, maybe not. At this stage in the game, is it more worth it to him to get 2 second place medals than to get 1 gold medal?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is where, when this start changing, I think, you will start refocusing your mindset. Like Lucy used to play the free event as well, Lucy Kovalova, and now she doesn't play singles. She focuses just on doubles and mixed to have I mean, I don't want to talk for her, but like I feel like it's a smart move. She has been doing so well so far on those 2 events. Maybe if she sees a purpose of playing singles, she might come back. This is where like it has to make sense. And I feel like Tyson is in a great shape physically, and he can perform on all 3 events because of that. Maybe maybe 5 years from now, he's not able to recover as quickly, and then he has to decide only on 2 events. And maybe it makes more sense as well financially for him to just play 2 events rather than the 3 event. Right now, it's just very tough. And like I said, the better you do, a lot of players don't understand. You're like, oh man, like this is an underperformance. Well, when you have played on your third week in a row, and you've been doing so well on all events.
Yeah.
It starts to get brutal physically, and
Right.
at that level, you're a little step slower, and that opens up for the opponent to play better. I feel like in the case of Tyson, he did 2 finals. The first final, he was down 2-0 in doubles, came back to 2-all to lose in the fifth. So he's already mentally a bit affected from losing that match, and then he's coming.
And he played 5 games as well. He had to play. Yeah,
he played 5 games, so physically and mentally a bit affected. And then he's playing a guy that is in a great shape, that is playing unbelievable.
One of the fastest guys on the court.
Right, and you have to perform again. So it's not easy. It doesn't matter how physically prepared you are and mentally prepared you are for that. It's always a challenge. And I think that's why Ben was unreal for a long time. He was triple crowning. That was just, people don't realize how hard it is to do that. So
I triple crowned this morning. Jay, another option.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you think about this. In professional mountain biking, or when I started amateur mountain biking on a junior level, they required that at some events, they required that all participants raced the hill climb, the cross country, and the downhill. And then cumulatively, they came up with points. Would that be an option as well, to say everybody has to play all 3 as at the pro level, and then we're going to work some other system out? Or is that no?
I don't think it is, because again, like if you're forcing people to play, you're going to see people tanking or not. It's not good for the sport. You rather have people fighting, as hard as they can, trying to give the best, and that's what produces the best in every player. And then when you have that happening, the levels start rising. People enjoy watching more, because again, like it's more watchable when you have players that do that full time and train so hard to get to that point. Then you enjoy watching, and you're like, oh man, I wish I could be this person. But I feel like if you watch someone and you're like, oh man, I could do that so easy, that's so easy, then
that's how I watch all sporting events. No matter how good I am as an athlete, I'm like, I could probably throw that 90-yard touchdown pass. Why wouldn't I be able to do that?
But
that's just overconfidence on my part.
Admires more after you recognize more, like you're like, oh man, this guy works so hard,
right?
And then you start understanding the process of how to be that good.
Okay,
I think.
Cool. Well, I hope we get to that point. I mean, right now it's fun to watch, and I'm just thinking down the road as the fields get way deeper than they are, because they're going to, right? The level of it's just going to come to the top, where instead of, playing against 10 different people, you're now playing against 30 or 40 or 50 people who could all have a chance at winning. And then people are going to have to look at every single slim margin of gain they can acquire going into every tournament.
Yeah. The draws are getting bigger. Just in Vegas, like the single draw, there were 45 players.
Wow.
So it's.
And how many of those 45 had a real potential to win?
I would say, again, there are like 4 or 5 players that have been really on top of the game in singles, but you have like another 15 that could upset any top players at any moment. So out of those 45, you had 20 that compete regularly at the highest level. You have another 10 that are good players, that are getting there, that are young sometimes. They're newcomers that need the experience to play at that level. And then you had another probably 5 that are new to the game, that are trying. But it's getting more and more competitive. Players figure things out. They actually learn from the top players. If we look back more than a year ago, when I started playing full time, I remember Cal Yates was really at the top of the game still.
Yeah.
Ben was already there. There were so many players that were way more successful than what they are now, and it's not because they got worse. It's just the level has risen, and there are more better players coming in, and it's who is able to catch a train and always get better that will remain at the top, and that's never easy. That's never easy.
Right.
Yeah. It's wild to see the way it's developed in just the past, even like 6 months alone. Because if we go back 6 months, it was, at least in my mind, the way I was looking at it, in men's singles, Ben was going to win. It was Ben. Ben Johns was going to win. And there really wasn't a question about that. It was just, hey, who's going to take silver and bronze? Now, if we look at the landscape,
I always believed in you, Jay.
Thank you.
Now, if we look at the landscape from a singles perspective, it's you, Jay, JW, who's probably the most recent newcomer, Tyson McGuffin, who's been there for a while, Zane Navratil, who's been battling since just under a year, I would say. And then so you would round out that 5 in addition to Ben, and it's more competitive than ever. And I now am more engaged in these singles matches and in the singles tournament overall, because it's like, who's going to win?
Yeah. And there is like Joseph Gabriel that he's very strong as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Cherry that he's very strong. Frank Anthony Davis, Jack Foster, and Dekel Bar. Like, I mean, I could name like 5 more guys. Like Rob Nunnery was unbelievable in Texas. Like AJ Kohler, same thing. Like, it's not like those guys can play unbelievable. It's just maintaining that level that is not easy to do yet. But this is where it's just so competitive, and just being able to stay at the top all the time is a tough challenge, especially with the way PPA runs a tournament as kind of once as a single elimination in a certain way, because if you lose you can finish only third, so it puts even more pressure knowing that the level is getting better and better every time.
I had one more question before Thomas, unless you want to jump in with something, but too late. Look at, he's looking at his phone. I'm going to do it.
I'm right.
The serve.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about the serve. I saw you do the Zane hand spin serve in the doubles match a couple times.
Unbelievable. Did you see so much spin,
so much reaction? I couldn't
almost as good as Zane. Like, but
maybe better. Maybe better.
I think it was better, but I don't want to brag about it.
Yeah. We know that serve is going away.
Yeah.
Are people going to just squeeze the most out of it they can in 2021 and then kiss it goodbye? Are you working on a different serve? Do you know what you're going to do next? Do you have plans to adopt the Morgan Evans serve? What is the future of the serve? What are we going to see next year as these rules are coming into play?
It's tricky. I've never been a big fan of the Zane serve, to be honest.
Yeah, but if everyone else is doing it, you have to anyways, right?
But Zane started with the paddle.
Yeah.
And it's not against Zane. I love Zane. He's a good friend of mine.
Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it.
He's a good friend of mine as well.
Sounds like a beef.
Yeah, that's right. When I beat him, I love
match.
When I lose to him, I hate his serve. That's how I do. But no, the truth is, I'm a true believer that, like tennis, you toss the ball with your opposite hand. So if for me, the first thing to do is to toss with your left hand and then swing it. Mm-hmm. So Morgan Evans' serve is insane, in my opinion. I mean, I've played with him. I've got so many free points. And it requires a lot of skills to do what he's doing. So yes. I feel like this serve is legal for that reason, because, I mean, I'm coming from the tennis world where you can do a kick serve, a slice, a flat, like you can mix things, but you're still tossing with your left hand. And that's what Morgan has really managed to develop, is that toss, creating that spin that is unbelievable. And I think this should be legal, because it's not everyone can do that.
Illegal or legal?
Legal. I think it should be legal, because he toss with the left hand and swing with the right hand. And we have this rule in pickleball that says if you hit with your hand here while you're holding your paddle, it's part of the paddle. So if you're technically tossing from the right hand with your left hand like this, doing the flick like most players do, like myself including right now,
Yeah.
I'm technically hitting the paddle since it's part of the paddle. And that's what I'm not a big fan. I don't think you should be able to do that. If you can manage to create that spin with your left hand, do it. That's something that you deserve it. Like you worked it, you managed to do it, but it's also way easier for the players to return it. Like if I'm playing against Morgan Evans, I'm not saying I will get his serve like 100% of the time. It's tough because he's generating so much spin, but I can read the way the ball is going to go. Where Zane sometimes was so hidden that you couldn't. And then it takes away skills, in my opinion. And now I'm just reacting and surviving, where actually reading Morgan Evans serve requires me to have skills to really serve, but it requires him to have skills to create that spin. So I think that's where I am more for it. I feel like it's I think the sport is going to go that way, where players will be able to generate some kind of spin through that hand and create that, and that should be legal in my opinion. But I think it has a big effect on the game, especially in singles.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think, are you going to be working specifically on a serve like Morgan Evans? And how do you work on that? Do you just sit on your couch and toss the ball with your left hand until you generate that spin? Like what is, because Morgan spins it with his non-paddle hand.
Yep.
Tosses it and gets quite a bit of spin. And he does like some weird pinchy maneuver. Mm-hmm. And then he chops it so hard you have to have precision to be able to hit the ball at that angle on your paddle and still put it in play.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It requires skills to do that, and
yeah,
I'm not personally working on it. I try to to work as hard as I can on different things that I need to get better. My serve is definitely something I need to master comparing to the top players, I feel like, especially for singles again.
Yeah.
But no, I'm working more on finding more depth, more speed, more depth, and more accuracy. That's really what I'm working on. Once I got that down, maybe I will start working on that flick and
got it.
I have a confession real quick. I was always a fan of the Zane serve. I loved watching it. It was mind-blowing to see on TV. I was always like, oh, that was heroic to like Zane invent this serve and then utilize it as a weapon, and people know it's coming and still have a hard time with it. In Vegas, I made a bet with Zane that I could return 2 of 5 or 3 of 5 of his serves. We went to a court, and I thought, okay, I know it's going out this side. I'm going to be ready for it. And even though I knew what direction it was going, I was not prepared for how hard it went. It kicked so hard. It went from a 90-degree angle. Honestly, it hit the ground, 90-degree out. Not even close. I wasn't even close. And at that point, I realized I am not a fan of this serve at all. And the quicker this serve can be gone so that I never have to be humiliated again, the better. So I now am seeing both sides of it.
At least you didn't get hurt. I've seen people falling down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and if I were in a game where I was really, really, really trying, I could easily have fallen down. I got my paddle on 1 of the 5, and it almost went over the net. But it would have gone over the net in such a way that he would have just slammed it and gotten the point anyways. So now I'm seeing both sides a little bit. Obviously, I'm not as athletic or quick or as in tune with the game as the pros playing at Zane's level. So my vision is skewed a little bit, but it was ridiculous. And I feel ashamed and I'm embarrassed that I'm even talking about it right now here. And I'm going to post the video. I filmed it.
Just to clarify, so Tyson and Jay, if we were to put a bow on this, what you're saying is that Zane's serve is bad sportsmanship, and once he has to go back,
bad sportsmanship.
Once he has to play by the rules everybody else has to play by, he might as well jump down to 5-0 or maybe even 4-5 because that's really the only reason he's winning. And Jay, that's kind of what you're saying here, correct?
100%. That's what I'm.
Got it.
You took it from my mouth. No, but like truly, you have to be realistic. Zane is an unbelievable athlete. I have heard a lot of people actually saying, I mean, I joke a lot with him about it because some player says, oh, as soon as he's serve, he's gone. Like Zane is never going to win again. And I'm like, well, you can say that. The guy is unbelievable on both sides. He can hit forehand and backhand so clean. He's so quick. He's going to be good still. I think he will have to readjust a bit maybe. But he was getting so many free points out of that. Like that's for sure. It's so if someone misses a return, it's just like such a release. He might not get as many free points, so his matches might get a bit tougher. But I still think he's going to be at the top of the game. Like I said, he's a great athlete. I just think it's gonna. The match is the first few rounds he has when he's beating them like 11-1, 11-0 because they didn't figure out the serve. He might have longer matches, and that might carry on him a bit longer during the tournament. When you're on the 4th, 5th match, when you had those easy match, that helps. Yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah, you don't think about that. Just energy conservation in general and how that plays a role in later matches. That said, we're going to cut out everything you just said because you were complimentary towards Zane. I don't like that.
I also wanted to state my true opinion. Zane can do that serve to anyone he wants except for me. I like watching it. I like seeing it on TV. It's just because it's still mind-blowing. Like just watching the trajectory of the ball shift so quickly. I'm a fan of watching that and being like, oh, I'm not a fan of it happening to me face-to-face with Zane. So if I were the ruling committee, I would have been on there and been like, it's fine for Zane to do it to other people, but if he does it to me,
we'll ban it.
Yeah, we will ban it.
Once he will ban it, otherwise we'll keep it.
Exactly.
All right, Jay. So I want to talk a little bit about your partnership with Jessie Irvine. I think you guys are pretty impressive when you're playing alongside one another. Are you going to continue to play some more tournaments together throughout 2022? Is that something we can expect to see in the future?
Yeah. I'm not playing with her anymore this year. That was my last tournament in Vegas. But I'm planning to play with her in 2022.
Should we ask her though to see if she also agrees?
I was going to tell that. I mean, it's not up to me. Women have this privilege to choose. There are a lot of guys that are very good. I'm doing my best as I can. I know she's doing her best too. I enjoy playing with her so far. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm planning on playing with her. And if things go well, we'll keep playing. If things don't go well, she will probably find someone else.
Wow, what a nice political answer. What about on the men's side? Are we going to be seeing you alongside anybody new next year?
Yeah, I'm gonna play some tournaments with Tyson. So
we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I like that.
I'm hitting the road. I'm traveling the circuit. Tyson and Jay, #1 duo in doubles. I'm excited, Jay. I'll probably start doing some cardio and weightlifting and stuff.
Better start training.
Okay, I will. You can come out here and we can do like a Rocky training montage from
you were saying something very accurate. You need to live close to me because that's how we're gonna get the 1% better. So
correct.
Tyson's headed to Wichita.
Yep. I heard
you don't want to live in Arizona.
It's too hot.
It's only like 70 degrees today.
Yeah, no. Winter is great. Summer.
So let's live at my place in the winter, and then we'll move to your place in the.
That works.
Summer.
That works. Bring the kiddo.
I will. Yeah.
But cool. Okay, so we're gonna see you alongside Tyson McGuffin as well, I assume, next year, men's doubles.
Yeah.
I like that team a lot, and I'm just generally excited to see some of the new partnerships next year. Going back to Jessie really quickly, she's had a great track record of late, been medaling a lot. I feel like she was kind of just hanging around the podium at the beginning of the year, but now she's really starting to walk away with some medals, including some golds. Has anything changed about her game, or is there anything in particular that you notice about her game that you like or stands out to you?
The first time I met Jessie was actually at the Tournament of Champions in 2019. She played with Ben, and I was playing with Larissa Booth at that moment, and it was like one of my first tournaments, and I had to play qualies, and Ben and Jessie were in qualies too, so I had to play them in qualies. So I was pretty upset with that because I knew if I didn't win that match, I would not go through. So it was one of the first tournament that had qualies too. So that was like a new experience. And I played her, and I felt like she was fairly new to the game as well, and she had a lot of power, very aggressive. And I felt like, wow, she's gonna disrupt the women tour, because not many players were playing that aggressive at the time. And then in 2020, that's what she did. Like, we had COVID, obviously, that stopped us from March to August, but when she started, she was very aggressive, had a lot of success. And then 2021, players started playing more aggressive. They started dinking differently as well. Before, it was what I call the passive dinking, where it was just back and forth. Now they were pushing more, creating space. And I think they were a difficult time for our team with Jeff. They were playing very well in 2020, and 2021 they started struggling a bit more because players again got better and started figuring out their game. And then when you're not winning, it's hard to have confidence. I think she was just lacking a little of confidence, and lately she has been playing so well, winning a lot of tournaments, doing a lot of finals. Just with her, I have 4 finals, 3 finals, and one tournament together. She had one Las Vegas with AJ Kohler.
Mm-hmm.
She has one with Catherine, like so many tournaments as well. So I think it's just confidence, and she has improved her game overall. She's a very smart player. She's not stubborn in a certain way, where a lot of time players are like, oh, I'm so good, I don't need to work on this. She's always up to open her range and play better everywhere, and I think that's what she did. And that's why she's so successful. If you're willing to get better, and you're very self-conscious of where you're at, that's how you get better, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's cool to see her progress and her start medaling. Let's see. What about as far as who else had pretty strong performances in Vegas? Deckelbar and Adam Stone was one that I think made a lot of people happy, because they're both, like, everybody loves those two guys. But they typically walk away with, like, they play together all the time, but best they'll do is like silver. What do you think was different about their game this tournament? And is this something that we can just expect to see moving forward? I don't know if they're playing together in 2022, but maybe you can just talk a little bit about their game. And
I don't even know if they're gonna play all year together. I know Deckel played with several partners this year. Adam did play with me some as well. Like, I think I love both guys. Like, Deckel's work hard. Adam is competing every time. Like, I think he has played as many or more tournaments than me. He's just like always chasing that gold, and he's such a great fighter. I love playing with him as well, and I was just very happy for them, because, like you said, they usually either don't do great or do good, but they're not there. They had that final in US Open. They had another final, I don't remember where, but I remember that it's so close every time, and they were not able to close the deal. And seeing them winning 2-0, I was like, oh, this is too easy. And then 2-2, and I'm like, oh my goodness, we're gonna lose it. I really thought we were gonna lose it, and them winning it in 5 was just so good for them, because I mean, they, like I said, like, they've been chasing that. They wanted the gold, and it was the first title for Adam as well in PPA. So I felt it was great. Just very happy.
yeah, I thought it was fun to see. In all my in most podcasts I listen to, every once in a while a text tone will go off, and I check my own phone and I go, "Dang it wasn't mine. It was actually from the audio." So that's going to happen to our listeners here. So I'm now the culprit.
The culprit.
Who? It wasn't my phone. Whose phone was it? Was it you, Jay?
No.
Okay.
You're talking to a professional podcaster and a professional pickleball player. Whose phone do you think it is?
Nice. I was kind of like a slight roast there.
No, I'm just saying.
Just a little light roast.
On the court,
light.
Jay knows what he's doing. He's straight. When we're recording podcasts, I'm not saying you don't, but like I have 6 years of experience.
All right. Hey, Jay. So you are one of the players who I think is really at the top of the game, and you're one of the rare ones who plays a lot of both APP and PPAs.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an understanding of the landscapes there. The two tours. The APP just came out with the stipends. Can you talk a little bit about that? What it means for the game, and just your thoughts. And hold on, maybe we should talk a little bit about what that is for our listeners really quickly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So just a general synopsis. So this is kind of what we put in the newsletter. I'll just read it directly. But the APP announced that they will provide stipends for the top players in each division for the 2022 tour season. The player rankings will follow the APP Onyx/Dura standings list. And the stipend per tournament is based on those rankings. So depending on whether you're a top 10 male pro, a top 7 female pro, and a top 5 senior pro, you can earn certain dollar amounts each tournament just for showing up and being able to maintain your ranking within your respective group throughout the year.
Before Jay gets into it, without his input, I have to say I love this.
Yeah, it's good for the sport.
I'll tell you, I mean, I can tell you why. Cycling, it was the same. Like, depending on your rank as a team and the rank of the race you were participating in, that determined what the race had to pay you. They didn't call it a stipend. They called it an appearance or participation fee or whatever. So if you were like the top tier level, pro level team, tier 1, then you got paid X amount of dollars to participate in a tier 1 race, a tier 2 race, a tier 3 race. And if you were a tier 2 team, there was a different breakdown, tier 3 team, different breakdown. And so wherever the crossroads of the race and the team hit, that's what the team got paid. I like this because you're going to drive people to keep coming to the events to amass enough points to be the leaders. And then you're also going to drive lower ranked pros to the event to compete against the higher ranked pros, knowing that they're going to show up. Jay?
That was me. Sorry. No, I agree. I agree with what you said. There are a lot of positive out of this, and there are also some negatives, in my opinion.
What are the negatives?
Okay, well, the negative is you're helping the top pros
who are making enough money already, probably.
That are already kind of making money, and not helping the lower players to get into the sport. So this is where it's tricky, because again, from my perspective, if I were new to the sport and I'm going to play a professional event, and let's say I'm going to take Ben and Tyson and Zane as an example, you have those 3 names sign up. So most likely those guys are going to perform because they're at the top of the game. And I'm just like, okay, I got to play that tournament. I got to do very well to make money because only top 4 get something. So those 3 guys most likely are going to be in front of me unless I create an upset. On top of that, they get help to come to the tournament. And then they make more money than me because they already have sponsors. So it's not helping a new players at all. So that's where I'm not a big fan of it.
Okay.
But on the other hand is, if you look at the top player side, we are not making good money yet. It's not like if I were to make $1 million a year and you're giving me that stipend, I would say like, this is ridiculous. Don't give it to me. Try to help the newer generation. But we are not making money. So this stipend is just so good for the pros right now and helping them to become actually real professional athletes. So that's where I see the pros and the cons, because again, like if you want to see more players coming in, you need to help those lower hand players as well and give them an incentive to play. I think what PPA is doing next year by paying per round instead of just placing top 4, it's going to be a huge help, because again, like if I'm a new player and I'm coming in, I am just going to be like, oh, if I win that match, I'm going to get something. Even if it's not a lot, like it's motivating me to do better and try to chase that ranking. And if I'm top 5, then I get that stipend. You know what I mean? Like this is a process of willing to get better. But if you're coming and you're like, oh, I'm just wasting money, I'm not making money, I'm doing this as a hobby, what's the point? So then it's not helping the sport to grow. This person is going to quit playing professionally, at least, and you're going to end up with the same players winning the same tournaments over and over again. So I think this is where the pros and cons is. I think it's just a matter of time that top players make more money and can live off it. But it's getting to the right direction. It's just sometimes we need to see all the variant of it, I think.
So you're saying if players go and they make it past the first round, they get $50, $100, something.
Yeah.
They get into they win their second round. Now they get $150 bonus for winning the second round, and so on and so forth. So that the more you win, so still at the end of the day, the person who's won the most matches is the gold medalist, who then gets the biggest pot.
Yeah. So this is where like if they do that in tennis, they pay per round. If you look at a draw, let's say a 32 draw, you will have the top 8 seeded, and the other 24 are random. You know, the 1 will be on top, the 2 will be on the bottom, 3 and 4 will be flipped, and then for the semis, and then 5 through 8 will be flipped for the quarters. So you're guaranteed most likely, if those players perform, to have them in quarters and semis, and then the rest is open, and then you have the prize money, how much they're going to make per round. So if you lose first round, you're either not making money or you're making a little bit of money. If you win first round, then you're in the second round bracket, you make this amount of money. Then if you go to quarterfinal, you make that much money. And that's where like the sport needs to get to that way, because then players will be like, I lost second round, I need to lose in quarters now. Right. And even if you're not beating Ben Jones or Tyson or Jay or Zane, or they're like, we're getting better to them and we're getting closer to them, we're getting better, we're going to make it. And for the younger generation that are 14, 15, it's huge to make just like a little money. I mean, I remember as a kid when I played tennis, I mean, like I was not winning millions or anything, but I would get like $500 here, and I was like, wow, that's so good. Like, my parents paid for my registration fee. I didn't have any notion of money, and I was like, that's so good.
Did you pay your parents back, or you kept the $500?
No. I negotiated. I would do probably take the trash out or something, get something out of it. But like, I would, yeah.
I would have done the same. I'm not saying you should have paid your parents back, but it's nice to have parents who support your endeavors, and that goes a long way too for young athletes, especially. But I like that idea. I think on top of that, you got a young kid who it's a sacrifice to go to these tournaments and to get past the first round, and maybe after 2 rounds, you're at least have recouped some of your expenses and can put it towards your next tournament.
Think about tennis. Like, if you're top 100 in the world, you're not expecting to win the tournaments against Djokovic, Medvedev, Nadal. You're just coming to do your job, to be a professional athlete, get better, and try to eventually get there. But you're not like, hey, if I don't win that tournament, I'm losing money.
Right.
And that's where we at right now. Is even for me, if I underperform in a certain way, if I'm like not finishing top 5, that's an underperformance from my perspective. Like, you know what I mean? My expectations are so high because I'm away from my family. I'm playing that. I love the sport, but I'm also doing this full time as a job.
Right.
If I'm not top 5, I'm not making money. This is why am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
it's a pressure, and I feel like this is going to change in the future once the sport keep growing. Like, and at the speed it has been growing, I just think it's just so positive. Again, what we're doing with the stipend is helping, and we're all going in the right direction.
Okay, cool.
like
I do too. I think so too. I mean, I think as the tournaments are gaining more sponsorship specifically, and as the companies are getting more business because of the sport's popularity, they're then able to afford more to their professional athletes. So I think right now we're on this upward trend that is moving so fast compared to a lot of other sports, and it'll get there. I think it just takes time, and so yeah, cool. Thomas, you have any input at all? None whatsoever. Okay.
No.
Classic Thomas.
Not smart
Jay,
enough.
did you watch do you watch replays of your matches? Did you watch the gold medal match? Because I don't know if you noticed the commentating on it, but it was pretty fire.
No, I heard there were a lot of good feedback for Kevin, not about Jay. I saw Jay being a ball hog again, but no. No. I usually actually don't watch the matches where I won.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Maybe I should. I watch a lot the matches I lose, so I can try to
see what you could do better.
And because sometimes it's weird, that feeling where I'm sure like you have experienced it before, both of you, is when you're playing, you're just like, oh my goodness, my partner was not good today, and then you look at the tape and you're like, man, I was not good either. You know what I mean? Like it just sometimes it's easier to blame your partner rather than blaming yourself. So for me, I never I try to not blame my partner because I try to understand my partner better and to connect better. And sometimes I like to understand, was it if I give you a silly example, but like if Patrick is underperforming, am I the one making him underperform, or is he like, what could I have done better to put less pressure on him and be more involved? So that's more the thing that I look at and try to do better after, to not replicate the same error.
Right. Well, I don't know if you know this, but Thomas and I underperformed in Vegas in our bracket, and I blame us both, but I bet Thomas blames just me.
Well, unlike Jay, I don't self-reflect when I lose, only when I win.
Okay. So, you only replay the wins in your head?
That's correct. I'm not even sure that we played together in Vegas.
I don't know. Yeah, now that you're saying this, I kind of remember. I actually remember winning.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. We lost 2 games and then we were out, Jay. Which
well, you won with me though, against Jesse and Irina.
Yeah, but
we're killing them.
I know. Oh, it felt so good. Good. Can I ask you a question? There was a few moments where, so in between Jesse's 2 gold medal matches and right after Jay's gold medal match.
Yeah.
So Jesse still has more to play. We all go down, me being the non-professional, with Jay, Irina, Tereshchenko, another good friend of the podcast, and Jessie Irvine, and we're playing. And there's a few moments where Jessie cannot stop laughing. And I assume she's just laughing at me, but I don't know why.
Because you're good looking. That's what I would say.
You think I'm so good looking that she found it hilarious?
Yeah. She was like, I can't look at him.
Can you be honest? Can you be honest with me, Jay? Why was she laughing?
I don't know.
At pickleball?
Or
were her and Irina talking?
I really don't know. I just remember Irina and Jesse cracking up while playing, and I started laughing too, just watching them laugh. And you were like, are they laughing about me, or why are they laughing? And I was just like,
I know it was about me, but I don't know why.
I don't know either. It was just very funny.
But I have to say, like, for you guys to take time to play with me means a lot. And Jay is one of the nicest guys on the tour. If you see him play in person, do not be afraid to go get a picture with him, say hi, even probably get a hug sometimes, and have him sign your paddle. So
yeah, but my theory is that's all an act. He's trying to get his competition to let their guard down. Jay's really nice. He's not, and then when he steps on the court, he's an animal. He takes.
But I'm not his competition.
Yeah, no.
But he has to do. He never knows who's watching, so it's this constant like aura of nice guy. Like Jay, I see right through that, dude.
Okay. No, I
don't. I've fallen for it. One of the nicest guys on the tour here.
Something that you will. I mean, if we hang out more, Thomas, which you never want to do with me, but anyway, you will see I'm a very competitive person. That's where whatever we're playing, I can get very annoying when we compete because I can't accept to lose. Ask Rafa about it. With Rafa, I'm a lot with him, and you always lose in cards. Ercilio lose always in cards as well. With darts, all those games, I can get very very annoying. That's my personality. I think like when I compete, that's where I can be kind of I don't know. It's just like
when you know how to turn it on.
Yeah, but like
nobody likes to lose, but then there's those people that have that extra.
I'm just doing everything I can do to win, and in the meantime to have fun.
That's the difference between a pro athlete and someone who just like enjoys it. Is that you are there to win, you want to win.
There are very few sports I can just say, "Oh, let's play," and we're gonna have fun. I can't, and my wife hates me for that because, I would play anything, and she's like, "Dude, you don't have to be competitive right now." And I'm like, "Yes, I do. Yes, I do." I gotta win. That's what it is. Like and we could fight just for stupid things like that, just playing a card game or whatever. I would just get very upset if I lose. But the reason behind that is, that's where I can compete and be at 100%. And life, I feel like life is too short. You never know what people are going through. And so if you can just be nice to them and you never know. Like I feel like as a kid when I was looking at top players, just them signing my tennis ball was just such a huge deal. And I'm like, some of them were just like, I'm not signing, like whatever. Like I feel like whoever, you don't know how much of an impact you have for them. Maybe it's minimal, maybe it's big. Maybe they need attention, maybe they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always try to put myself in everyone's shoes, and if I can be nice to them, and I believe that if you're nice to people are nice back to you. So, but then when it's competitive, then it's a different story. Not gonna lie.
I think all right. I think that's a great way to end this episode. Actually,
hold up. 2022. We doing a Mario Party tournament or a Mario Tennis tournament to see how competitive Jay is, but give us kind of an equal or maybe an advantage a little bit. You get to choose, Jay. You want to play Mario Tennis on the Switch or Mario Party?
I don't know what is Mario Party. I know Mario Kart.
There's we can play Mario Kart too.
I would want to do Mario Kart.
I'm a wizard at Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. I might throw the controller at you. I've done that.
That's okay, as long as it's not at my TV. So I have everything set up here.
As long as I win, you will be.
Oh, fine. If I let you win, my TV will be protected.
Hey, you gotta be.
Anything he can do to win.
Okay, Jay, you're gonna be here in Arizona in January.
Yeah.
Thomas, are you coming out to the tournament in January?
Sure, sounds like
get it on the books. We'll get some other pro players here. I'll host at my house.
Don't get too many because the more there are, the more competition there is. I don't like that. Makes it real smaller.
I think we could handpick people who are specifically bad at video games.
Yeah, take women. Usually they don't play as much.
Whoa. Ooh, we might have to cut that from the podcast.
Looks like the commenters were right.
Again, no, but like usually the pros, like, I mean, I might be wrong.
I don't know. Now we have to see. So we'll get a group.
Jesse doesn't play video game, I'm pretty sure.
That's what I'm saying. We got to find people like that. So we'll get a group of people in January. We'll make it an evening at my house and do some Mario Karting.
Yeah.
Right. I'm excited. I think I can win this. Thomas thinks that I'm 42, so I shouldn't be winning video games, but
I don't play video games, so
N64 was popular 20 years ago, so that would be like right near your wheelhouse of like.
I used to skip high school to go to Target to play on their demo machine Mario Kart on Super Nintendo, and I would spend hours, and moms with little kids would come up and look at me, just me and my buddies crushing it on the demo machine at Target. And you'd hear the mom say really loud, "I'm sure these nice boys will let you have a turn here in a second."
No.
And we're like, we're not. We're in the heat of competition right now.
Wait your turn.
Exactly.
All right, we have to cut it here because
we sure do.
We are going over, but this was a great episode, Jay. I think everybody's going to really like this one. So thanks a ton for coming on. We definitely have to do it again because I think we could have gone for another hour or more. But
yeah, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Jay, mon ami, à la prochaine.
À la prochaine. À la prochaine. And Thomas, we'll get closer. We'll work on it.
That's PicklePod. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
We did it.